King Harris wearing a t-shirt with 50 Cent's late mother on it, dropping a diss track, and Rick Ross jumping in the comments asking for that same shirt. These are things that happened in the last few days. The Harris family and Rick Ross have aligned against 50 Cent in a way that nobody saw coming. So let's get into how King Harris and Rick Ross ended up on the same side of a war with one of the most notorious trolls in hip-hop history, and whether 50 Cent just walked into a trap. To understand how we got here, you need to go back to the thing that lit this entire fuse, the Verzuz. When Swizz Beatz and Timbaland created Verzuz in 2020, it was built during the pandemic as a way for legends to go hit for hit on Instagram Live, remind everybody who they are, and give fans something to debate. The original purpose was positioned as celebration plus education, putting respect on catalogs and letting artists control their own narratives in real time. Now T.I. started pressing 50 Cent for a Verzuz, and he wasn't just throwing out a fun matchup, he was calling for a real ATL versus NYC moment, and he made it loud. Back in 2020, T.I. put the challenge out via an Instagram video aimed at Fifth on his birthday, saying, "Pull up with 20 songs and let's see what's up." 50 did what 50 does. He didn't accept, he clowned it. That was 2020, but the topic didn't die. T.I. kept pushing. At the BMF premiere event, Tip called 50 out on stage and tried to pressure him into doing it for the people. The reporting around this moment framed it as T.I. staying consistent. He's wanted this battle for a while, and 50 keeps refusing. Fast forward to February 2026. T.I. goes on Nightcap Live with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco and says he wanted 50 for Verzuz and that 50 doesn't want any smoke. Then clips circulate from his appearance on $1 Million Worth of Game. T.I. initially suggested on $1 Million Worth of Game that the two had agreed on a Verzuz battle, with the idea being that Tip would reveal the news. He claimed on the pod, hosted by Gilly the Kid and Wallow, that 50 went back on the plan, playing dumb when the rapper shared the news. T.I. said, and I want you to hear this, the matchup wasn't to pit them against each other. He said it was really about celebrating each other's catalog. He said he and 50 talked about this, that he didn't call him out of the blue, and that it didn't come out of nowhere. According to the rapper, the two came to an agreement for the Verzuz, and T.I. was supposed to mention it publicly. But when he did, he alleges Fifth acted confused. That was the moment T.I. went from pushing for a friendly battle to questioning 50 Cent's character entirely. He said on the podcast, "Now, I question your character. No, I just say you don't want to do it." And that statement, "I don't respect him," was the match that set the whole thing off. After Tip's comments, 50 posted an unflattering photo of Tiny, with a caption warning Tip to keep his name out his mouth. This is the pivot where it stopped being a rap debate and turned personal. Now 50 Cent is someone who has been in public feuds for over 2 decades. From Ja Rule to The Game to Rick Ross to Diddy, this man has made a career out of trolling. If there's one thing 50 Cent has built his career on, it's psychological warfare. From Ja Rule to Rick Ross, he's made a sport out of public humiliation. So when he posted that photo of Tiny Harris, he knew what he was doing. 50 responded online by referring to T.I. as King Rat. That same day, he posted an unflattering image of Tiny Harris with the caption, "I keep saying keep my name out your mouth, okay?" And that's when things went from a Verzuz debate to a full-scale family war. Because it wasn't just T.I. who took notice of that photo. His 21-year-old son, King Harris, saw it too. And King had something to say. T.I. tweeted with, "You want war? Energy?" and dropped a track titled War in the middle of the chaos. T.I. wasn't just going to let 50 use his wife as a punchline, and his son wasn't going to sit this one out either. That Verzuz conversation, something that started with 2 veteran rappers talking about celebrating their catalogs, had become a full-blown conflict. The kind where families get involved, the kind where lines get crossed, the kind where Rick Ross smells an opportunity and shows up. But before we get to Rose, we need to talk about what King Harris did first. King Harris is 21 years old. He's the son of T.I. and Tamika Tiny Harris. King is the eldest of the 3 children T.I. and Tiny share, including son Major Filent, 17, and daughter heiress Diana Harris, 9. And when 50 Cent posted that photo of his mother, an unflattering image of Tiny shared to his Instagram, King did not hold back. 50 Cent and T.I.'s social back and forth sparked a new beef between 50 and Tip's son King Harris after the mogul shared a controversial photo of T.I.'s wife, Tiny Harris, which prompted King to troll 50, mentioning the mogul's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. On February 22nd, the rising rapper took to his Instagram stories with an explicit rant after the 50-year-old mogul shared an unflattering photo of Tiny amid his escalating online feud with T.I. He said to the camera, referencing 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, who died in 1983. King later posted an image of a tombstone to his stories, with a caption about 50 Cent's mother. He also shared what appeared to be a photo of 50 Cent's mother's gravesite in another post. Now let me lay out what happened here. 50 Cent posted a photo of Tiny. King Harris responded by bringing up 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. That's the line that got crossed. 50 Cent's mother passed away when he was a child, and King went there. 50 Cent laughed off King Harris's remarks about Sabrina Jackson, according to his latest Instagram post. He captioned a post with LOL alongside a photo of the popular Pepe the Frog meme. But King didn't stop. King Harris took to Instagram in defense of his mother, with several posts pointing out 50's prior beefs, the aftermath of his 2000 shooting, previous accusations of domestic violence, and more. On his Instagram account, King shared a post of a gravesite featuring 50 Cent's mother and grandmother's names, a video of the rapper in court in a case where he stood accused of trampling and assaulting 3 women at a concert, and a photo of one of the rapper's sons. Then King went even further. King Harris was not holding back amid his feud with 50 Cent, even digging up documents dating back to 2009. He took to Instagram to share what looks like an official FBI report dating back to 2009. The document outlines how Fifth allegedly placed an anonymous tip about Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher's murder investigation. Allegedly, he told officials that he was in fear for his safety and that James Jimmy Henchman Roseman had ordered Lodi Mac's murder. That's not just trolling, that's pulling up paperwork. King wrote in the caption about this document, calling it proof of something he wanted the internet to see for themselves. He wrote, "Is this who called my pops a rat with no black and white? Well, here's yours, sir." And this is where things got interesting, because 50 Cent deleted every Instagram post related to his recent online feud with T.I., signaling what appeared to be a pause in the public back and forth. The move came after days of exchanges involving T.I. and his son, King Harris, who both responded to 50's earlier comments. Despite 50 Cent clearing his page, King Harris continued addressing the situation. 50 deleting his post was read by many on social media as a retreat. Whether it was or wasn't, King Harris treated it like a green light to keep going. And his next move would be the one that blew the whole thing wide open. After going back and forth on Instagram, King Harris decided to take things to the booth. King's first diss track, Made Man, arrived with a direct warning. Over a hard-hitting beat, King made his stance clear. Mentioning his mother was a line that should never have been crossed. That track came on February 24. King released a song titled Made Man, addressing remarks he says were aimed at his mother. The track suggests that for him, the conflict is personal, but Made Man was only the beginning. If Made Man was a warning shot, his follow-up track, Sayless, was a full-on detonation. On Thursday, February 27th, King Harris released a diss track titled Say Less. The record targets 50 Cent and arrives after days of pointed social media exchanges that have kept the situation trending. And this is where King took things further than most people expected. While promoting the new song on Instagram, King appeared in a t-shirt that many believe features an image of 50 Cent's late mother. Let me describe what happened in this video so you understand the full picture. Throughout the raw, unpolished footage shot with a grainy filter, Harris delivers aggressive bars while repeatedly lighting a blunt and maintaining intense eye contact with viewers. The track directly addresses 50 Cent's social media behavior toward Tiny Harris, but it's the subsequent bars invoking 50 Cent's deceased mother and crossing traditional boundaries that dominated conversations. In the video, he wears a black t-shirt with a photo of 50 Cent's deceased mother on it. As he raps the song, Harris lights up a blunt and even tries to pass it to the photo of Fifth's late mom. That visual, King Harris wearing a shirt with Sabrina Jackson's face on it, trying to pass a blunt to the image, that's the moment that sent the internet into a frenzy. King shared the photo on his Instagram story as well. He tagged 50 Cent, asking him about his late mom's gender. This yo mama or pops 50 Cent, and then there was the track itself. In Sayless, King Harris disses 50 Cent hard, repeating his earlier comments, questioning how 50 dared to use his mother's name and photo in his posts, and then pointing out that 50's own mother is dead. He also went after 50 Cent on other topics. He accused 50 Cent of being a police informant in the lyrics. Meanwhile, T.I. himself was not sitting idle. Despite T.I. dropping 4 50 Cent diss tracks, along with Tip's other son, Damani, joining in the barrage of attack songs, 50 has not returned the favor and delivered his own response track to the Harris family. That's the thing that made people start talking. 50 Cent, a man who has never been known to back down from anyone, was not responding with music. 50 responded in typical fashion, memes, jokes, and relentless trolling. Rather than stepping into the booth himself, 50 largely kept his responses confined to Instagram. He did respond in one notable way though. 50 responded, "Goes to old rappers still trying to battle rap. ChatGPT told me that. I don't need me to rap, you need me to rap. LOL, get the fuck off my page." T.I. had 4 tracks out. King Harris had 2. Damani had 1. and 50 Cent had zero response records. That's the dynamic that was in place when Rick Ross decided to enter the conversation. Now here's where the title of this video starts to make sense, because Rick Ross didn't just casually observe what was going on, he stepped in with intent. Rick Ross is showing support for King Harris amid his and T.I.'s feud with 50 Cent. Harris, son to Tip and Tamika Tiny Harris, rolled out his fifth dissing track, Say Less, marking the latest entry in a back and forth that has been a headline's mainstay in recent days. When King posted the video of himself wearing the t-shirt with 50 Cent's late mother's image on it, Rose, who's made his own thoughts on the G-Unit film and television founder public over the years, was quick to hop in the comments of Harris's post. He commented, "Need that T and 3X Lil bro. Let that sit for a second." Rick Ross, a man who has been at war with 50 Cent for over 15 years, publicly asked King Harris to send him a t-shirt with 50 Cent's dead mother's face on it. King wasted no time replying in the comments, keeping the energy aligned with the bold rollout of his track. And this wasn't Ross's first move during this particular beef. Ross's recent t-shirt request to Harris isn't the first time the artist has spoken out, amid T.I. and 50 Cent's larger feud. Earlier this week, he encouraged his fans to stream Tip's latest Fifth Focus diss track. He said at the time, "That shit on fire, that shit hot." So Ross had already been co-signing T.I.'s diss tracks, and now he's publicly requesting the most provocative piece of merchandise from King Harris's rollout. That's not a casual observation, that's a coordinated alliance. To understand why Ross did this, you have to understand the history between him and 50 Cent. The animosity reportedly began at the 2008 BET Hip Hop Awards, where Ross felt slighted by 50's demeanor towards him. 50 Cent, however, claimed he didn't recall any interaction with Ross at the event. What followed was one of the most sustained beefs in hip-hop history. Rick Ross released Mafia Music, a track containing lines that seemingly targeted 50 Cent's personal life. 50 fired back, suggesting that he was determined to ruin Ross's career. 50 later exacerbated the feud by interviewing Tia Kemp, the mother of one of Ross's children, who criticized Ross's authenticity and confirmed his history as a correctional officer. That Tia Kemp situation was something else. 50 Cent released an interview with Tia, the mother of Rick Ross's son. The first half of the video was an interview with Tia, who brought further light to Ross's lifestyle and spoke about his correctional officer past. In the second half, 50 took Tia on a shopping spree. That same year, the rapper interviewed Kemp, spoiled her with a shopping spree, and took her and her son to meet Floyd Mayweather Jr. The pair was also featured together in a provocative photo on the cover of Smooth magazine. 50 didn't just diss Ross on a track. He went into Ross's personal life, took his baby mother on camera, took her shopping, and put it all on the internet. Then, in an even more controversial move, 50 leaked a sex tape featuring Lastonia Leviston, the mother of Ross's child. Lastonia eventually filed a lawsuit against 50 over the leaked sex tape, citing severe emotional distress. The legal battle would continue for several years, and the consequences of that move were significant. A jury awarded Lastonia $5 million in her lawsuit against $50 for the unauthorized release of her sex tape. This financial setback contributed to 50 filing for bankruptcy later that year. So when you see Rick Ross asking for that t-shirt in a 3X, understand this. This man has over a decade of personal grievance with 50 Cent. 50 went after Ross's baby mothers, plural. 50 mocked Ross's career. 50 made cartoons about Ross called Officer Ricky. He stated that Ross could be doing this for publicity, but he chose the wrong adversary, and that he planned to ruin his life for the fun of it. This is not Rick Ross casually supporting a young rapper. This is Rick Ross seeing an opportunity to align with the Harris family against a common enemy. When you look at what King Harris was doing, wearing that shirt, dropping those bars, pulling up paperwork, and then Ross jumps in publicly to co-sign all of it, that's what a strategic alliance looks like in hip-hop. King also referenced Rick Ross directly in the track, rapping that 50 knew he couldn't fuck with Rick Ross musically, so he resorted to making skits. So Ross was already getting shoutouts in the diss material. His comment was essentially a public confirmation that he was on the Harris family's side. And that's the setup. King Harris and Rick Ross, from two different generations, two different cities, two different beefs with the same man, converging on 50 Cent at the same time. What makes this situation different from any other 50 Cent beef is the sheer number of people now involved. This isn't one rapper versus another rapper. This is an entire family plus a long-standing rival, all aiming at 50 Cent simultaneously. When 50 Cent and T.I. reignited their long-running beef, naturally his children, King Harris and now Damani, hopped in to defend their family, particularly their mama. As if one diss campaign weren't enough, 24-year-old Damani added another layer to the conflict with his own track, Ms. Jackson. The record opens with a sample of Outkast's 2000 classic of the same name, immediately grounding the song in Southern rap lineage. But Damani's approach differs from King's explosive fury. Instead of pure aggression, he frames the track as a letter addressed to Sabrina Jackson. In his opening lines, he questions whether she would be proud of the man her son has become, a calculated psychological angle rather than a purely emotional outburst. So now you have T.I. with 4 diss tracks, King Harris with 2 diss tracks and a constant Instagram campaign, Damani with Ms. Jackson, Rick Ross co-signing from the comments and encouraging fans to stream the diss records. Even T.I. and Tiny's youngest daughter, Ares, clapped back at 50 Cent, with her vocals after he posted a picture of her mother. The whole family has now dissed 50. That's the entire Harris household participating in this beef. Every single member found a way to respond. And then you add Rick Ross on top of that. Now let's talk about 50 Cent's response, or rather, the absence of one. As of the latest reports, 50 Cent has not addressed the Harris family's recent diss tracks. 50 Cent has not commented on Rick Ross's entry into the beef between T.I. and the rest of the Harris family and himself. Think about that. 50 Cent, the man who trolled Ja Rule for an entire decade, who made Officer Ricky cartoons every Saturday, who took Rick Ross's baby mother shopping on camera, who has never once in his career let someone get the last word, has not released a single diss track in response to any of this. He deleted his posts about T.I. He responded to the whole thing with memes and a Pepe the Frog. He posted a message about how to entertain is to provoke emotions. Love me or hate me, it's cool. Just care enough to feel some kind of way. That's it. And when people pressured him about making a response track, 50 responded, "Goes to old rappers still trying to battle rap. ChatGPT told me that. I don't need me to rap, you need me to rap." There are 2 ways to read this. One is that 50 Cent is unbothered and considers the Harris family beneath a musical response. He's a television mogul now. He runs G-Unit Film and Television. He has the Power franchise. He might genuinely feel like going back and forth with T.I.'s 21-year-old son on a diss track is not worth his time. The other way to read it is that King Harris and Rick Ross have found the one thing that actually gets under 50 Cent's skin, his mother. 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, died when he was 8 years old. On the second record, King escalated the feud dramatically, referencing 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who tragically died in a fire when the rapper was a child. King Harris has been going at that topic relentlessly, and 50's decision to delete posts and not respond could suggest that this particular line of attack hit different. King Harris's feud with 50 marks the mogul's second with a rapper's son, following his 2026 feud with Diddy's son, Christian King Combs. So this is becoming a pattern for 50, getting into public feuds with the children of rappers he's had issues with. And King Harris has shown no signs of letting up. Here's where King actually showed a moment of self-awareness in all of this though. King Harris reached out to 50 Cent's son, Marquise Jackson, saying what he said was out of emotion, and he wants to talk man to man. King takes a moment in his ongoing feud with mogul 50 Cent to speak to 50's oldest son, Marquise Jackson, offering a chance to talk. King posted on Instagram stories a direct message to Marquise, who also has long-standing issues with 50 Cent. That's an interesting move. King Harris going at 50 Cent with everything he has, but then reaching out to Marquise Jackson, who has his own well-documented tension with his father, and attempting to separate the son from the sins of the father. Whether you call what King Harris and Rick Ross have done a setup depends on how you look at it. 50 Cent posted a photo of Tiny Harris. He trolled T.I. about the Verzuz. He called him King Rat. He went after the man's wife and son on social media. And now, every single member of the Harris family has responded. Rick Ross has publicly co-signed the most disrespectful act in the entire saga, that t-shirt. T.I. has 4 diss tracks out. King has 2. Damani has 1. Even the youngest daughter participated, and 50 Cent has responded to none of it with music. He deleted his posts. The man who once said he would ruin Rick Ross's life for the fun of it is sitting this one out. 50 responded with memes, jokes, and relentless trolling. Rather than stepping into the booth himself, 50 largely kept his responses confined to Instagram. The setup, if there is one, is this. King Harris provoked 50 Cent on the one topic that appears to genuinely affect him. Rick Ross amplified it by publicly endorsing the most provocative element of the attack. T.I. provided the framework with 4 diss tracks and the original Verzuz grievance. And together they've created a situation where 50 Cent's silence speaks louder than anything he could post. This isn't just rap rivals trading bars. It's sons defending their mother and their family name. One thing is certain. This beef has officially moved beyond entertainment and into something far more personal. 50 Cent has been the aggressor in almost every beef he's ever been in. From Ja Rule to Rick Ross to Diddy's son to whoever comes next, he's always the one applying pressure. But in this situation, the Harris family flipped the script. They applied the pressure. They brought up his mother. They pulled up paperwork. They made the merch. And Rick Ross showed up to co-sign all of it. Whether 50 responds with a track, keeps trolling on Instagram, or chooses to move on entirely, the fact remains that King Harris and Rick Ross, for this moment, have 50 Cent in a position that he's rarely been in throughout his entire career, on the defensive. And for a man who built his empire on being the one doing the attacking, that alone is something worth paying attention to. This story is still developing. 50 Cent has not issued a formal response as of the time of this recording. But if history tells us anything, it's that Curtis Jackson does not let things go quietly. The question now is not whether he'll respond, it's when and how hard. Until then, King Harris is wearing that shirt. Rick Ross wants one in a 3X. And the Harris family is running up the score.